All right, ladies, let's talk about that woman. You know exactly who I'm talking about. That incredibly chic CEO who commands a boardroom, or that effortlessly stylish woman you see on the street who just radiates confidence. What do they almost always have in common? A perfect bob haircut. It's the ultimate symbol of timeless, ageless style, isn't it? Okay, now I want you to think about your own hair. Have you ever gotten a bob, feeling excited, only to look in the mirror a week later and think, why does this make me look tired? Why does the same haircut that looks so chic on asterisk her feel heavy and aging on asterisk me? If you have ever had that thought, I want you to know you're not crazy. And you are not alone. Because here's the hard truth that most stylists won't tell you. The bob haircut, your best friend for looking chic, can also be your worst enemy. The line between a bob that makes you look youthful and vibrant, and one that adds 10 years to your face, is razor thin. But here's the good news. The problem isn't that you chose the wrong haircut. Not at all. The problem is in the details. It's in the tiny, millimeter-level mistakes, the subtle techniques for managing weight and creating movement that are so often overlooked. And those little details make all the difference. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. In this video, I'm going to be your personal hair advocate. We are going to break down the 5 most common bob haircut mistakes that instantly age you. But we're not just going to point out the problems. For every single mistake, I'm going to give you the exact fix. The professional secrets you can take straight to your stylist to transform your hair. This is your masterclass on the perfect, ageless bob. So go grab a cup of coffee or a glass of wine. Get comfortable. Because your journey to getting the most flattering bob of your life starts right now. All right, ladies, let's dive right into mistake number 1. I call this one the safety trap. And it's the haircut that sneaks up on so many of us. It's the heavy, one-length bob. I want you to take a quick look in the mirror right now. Does your hair feel heavy? Does it move like one solid piece? Almost like a helmet? You know the look. It's clean. It's neat. But does it feel a little lifeless? A little blocky? That is the classic one-length bob, with 0 layers and 0 movement. And while it might feel chic and timeless, the hard truth is that its weight is literally dragging your features down. So why do we fall for this trap? Why do smart, savvy women choose a style that can be so unflattering? Honestly, because life gets crazy. We're juggling careers, family, and everything in between. And we just want something easy. I've been there. I have to admit it. I remember hitting my early 40s, feeling completely overwhelmed, and I walked into a salon and said those famous last words, just give me something low maintenance. And I got it, a perfectly simple, one-length bob. And sure, it was easy, but it also made me look tired. It made me look stern. I had traded my vitality for convenience. Does that sound familiar to anyone? And listen, it's not just a feeling. There's actually data on this. A study from the International Beauty Institute found that hard, horizontal lines in a haircut can add an average of 3 to 5 years to a woman's perceived age. That's a huge difference. For my round-faced ladies, this cut is a disaster. It just adds more width. If you have a square jawline, this cut screams box. And for longer faces, it just drags everything further down. It's an equal opportunity offender. Let me tell you about my client, Anne, a total powerhouse, a marketing director for a major company. She walked in with incredible energy, but her hair was telling a different story. It was a heavy, lifeless bob that was literally hiding her sparkle. She told me, I feel like I'm stuck in a box, both at work and in life, and my hair is the lid. Wow, that hit me. So we didn't chop it off. We performed a little magic. We strategically removed the weight from the inside, so her hair could finally breathe. And when she saw the final result in the mirror, with hair that was soft, that moved, that framed her face, it wasn't just about the haircut. It was a release. She looked lighter, brighter. She looked like herself again. So, how do we fix this? How do you get that chic, effortless bob without the weight? Here's your playbook. These are the 4 techniques you need to talk about with your stylist. First, asterisk internal layering. Think of it like the secret support in a well-made dress. You don't see it, but it gives everything shape and lift from within. Second, asterisk beveling. This is about creating a soft, subtle curve at the ends, so the hair naturally hugs your jawline instead of just hanging there. Third, asterisk point cutting. This is where your stylist uses the tips of the scissors to cut into the ends, breaking up that hard, blunt line and creating a much softer texture. And finally, the holy grail, masterclass face framing. Even just a few soft pieces around your face to highlight your cheekbones and your eyes. It's like an instant, natural facelift. So are you ready to walk into your next appointment with confidence and ask for what you really want? The key takeaway here is simple. Movement is youth. Dead weight will age you every single time. But what happens when your hair has movement, but it still looks off? What if it looks dated, like it's stuck in a totally different decade? Well, that's when we have to talk about mistake number 2. The one I call the ultimate style time capsule, the reverse bob. Okay, we've talked about being stuck in the past. Now let's talk about trying too hard to look modern and edgy. This brings us to the very seductive, very dangerous mistake number 3. The overly dramatic angled bob. You have definitely seen this haircut out in the wild. It's the one with those razor-sharp points in the front, sometimes extending way down to the collarbone. They look less like a haircut and more like 2 daggers framing the face. Have you ever seen this style and thought to yourself, wow, that's a lot? Your intuition is correct. It's a classic case of a good idea taken way too far. So what's the psychology here? Why do women choose this severe look? On the surface, this cut screams confidence and power, right? But here's a secret that top stylists know. Often, the more extreme the haircut, the more it's trying to hide. What is it hiding? Usually, a softening jawline. The thinking is that 2 long, sharp curtains of hair will hide the jowls or the neck. But the exact opposite happens. Those 2 points act like giant arrows, pointing directly at the area you're most insecure about. It's a confidence trap. True, effortless elegance is always subtle. The iconic fashion designer Coco Chanel famously said, "Before you leave the house, look in the mirror and take one thing off." I have a similar rule for haircuts. Before you leave the salon, soften one hard line. This dramatic bob breaks that rule completely. The biggest aesthetic problem is the total disconnect. This isn't one haircut. It's 2 completely different haircuts fighting each other on your head. The back is short and stacked, and the front is long and severe. This creates a jarring imbalance that makes your head shape look strange, and it draws all the attention downward, which is the last thing we want. I'll never forget my client, Linda, a brilliant CEO in the tech world. She came to me with one of the sharpest angled bobs I had ever seen. She told me she wanted a power haircut, something that showed she was a force to be reckoned with. But she confessed that her own team seemed intimidated by her, that they were hesitant to share ideas. Her haircut wasn't projecting power. It was projecting unapproachable. It was creating a barrier. So we didn't take away her power. We just softened it. We raised the front length to just below her chin, and we blended the angle starting from behind her ear, creating a seamless flow. The result was incredible. She still looked sharp and in control, but now she also looked warm, accessible, human. She told me 2 weeks later that the vibe in her meetings had completely changed. That's the power of a balanced haircut. So how do you get that beautiful, face-slimming angle without looking severe? Here are the rules. This is the art of the soft angle. Rule number 1 is the chin rule. The longest point of your hair in the front should never extend more than an inch or so past your chin. Any longer, and you've entered the danger zone. Rule number 2 is the ear rule. The angle of your bob should start at slope from behind your ear, not from the back of your head. This creates a graceful curve, not a dramatic cliff dive. And rule number 3 is the blend rule. Ask for soft, internal layers in the front. This breaks up that solid, heavy curtain of hair and allows it to move and breathe. Remember, sophistication is subtle. Your confidence should come from you, not from the sharp points of your haircut. So we've learned that balance is key, and a soft angle is always more flattering than a harsh one. But the balance of a bob isn't just about the angle from back to front. It's about how the entire haircut is built, its very foundation. And that brings us to a huge, hidden mistake that happens at the nape of your neck. It's a structural flaw that can ruin the entire look. It's time to talk about mistake number 4, the high nape bob. All right, we've talked about the angles on the sides. Now we need to talk about the architecture. We have to talk about the very foundation of the haircut. This brings us to a huge, hidden mistake that I call the mushroom bob, and it is a structural disaster. It is mistake number 4, the high nape bob. You've seen this before. It's where the nape of the neck is shaved or clipped way too high up the back of the head. It creates this strange disconnect between the long top layer and the buzzed undercut. Have you ever been in the salon chair, heard the buzz of the clippers getting closer and closer to the top of your neck, and felt that little knot of panic in your stomach? That panic is your intuition telling you that something is about to go very, very wrong. Okay, I'm going to give you a little lesson in hair anatomy that will change the way you look at bobs forever. I want you to reach back and feel the back of your head. There's a bone that curves out right there, about halfway down. That is your occipital bone. This bone is the secret, natural shelf that a beautiful bob is designed to sit on. It's nature's guideline for a graceful haircut. When a stylist cuts above that bone, they are fighting your natural anatomy. The haircut no longer has a foundation to rest on. It just floats, creating that awkward, top-heavy mushroom shape. And here's the irony. People think a high nape will make their neck look longer. It does the exact opposite. That harsh, high line actually makes your neck look shorter and wider. Visually, it creates two separate haircuts, a super short buzz cut on the bottom, and a heavy bowl of hair sitting on top. It's incredibly unflattering. I had a client, Sarah, who came to me in near tears. She had gone to a new stylist and asked for a modern, stacked bob. She ended up with this, a buzzed-out nape that went almost to her crown. She told me she felt exposed, unfeminine, and that she just wanted to hide. Now, we couldn't magically make her hair grow back overnight, but we could make a plan. Step 1 was to immediately soften that hard shelf on the top layer with some texturizing to create a better blend. Step 2 was the hard part, patience. We had to let that nape grow out for a couple of months. Step 3 was the reshaping. Once we had enough length, we were able to create a true, beautifully blended bob that followed the graceful curve of her occipital bone. The relief on her face was everything. She learned a valuable, though difficult, lesson about the importance of a haircut's foundation. So how do you get that beautiful volume in the back without getting the dreaded mushroom cut? You need to know the difference between two very important words, stacking versus graduation. Stacking is what often leads to this problem. It's about creating harsh, shelf-like layers. Frankly, it's dated. Graduation is the sophisticated, modern technique. It's a seamless blending of lengths that builds weight and volume gradually. It creates a soft, beautiful curve. So, this is what you tell your stylist. I want soft, blended graduation for volume, not harsh stack layers. And always ask your stylist to show you your haircut in profile with a hand mirror before you leave. You want to see a graceful curve, not a hard corner. The lesson here is that a great haircut works with your body's natural lines. It doesn't fight against them. So now, we've built this beautiful, balanced bob from the back. But the job isn't done. Because the final, and maybe the most important, detail is what happens right here, around your face. And that leads us to our fifth and final mistake. A mistake that can leave even the most perfectly cut bob looking heavy, frumpy, and unfinished. It's time to talk about the unlayered front. Okay, so we've built the perfect bob from the foundation up. We have the right shape, the right angle, and the right structure in the back. But all of that hard work can be completely undone by this one final, critical mistake. This is mistake number 5, the unlayered front. Here's what this looks like. It's when a stylist puts all this beautiful, airy, modern layering in the back of the bob, and then leaves the front two sections as heavy, solid, unlayered curtains just hanging there. I call this the mullet of bobs. You know, business in the front, party in the back, and it just does not work. Have you ever found yourself constantly tucking your hair behind your ears because it's always falling in your face? That's a huge red flag that you're dealing with this exact problem. The issue here is a total lack of cohesion. It honestly looks like two completely different people cut your hair, and neither of them talk to each other. The back is light and has movement, but the front is heavy and static. It's visually confusing, and it weighs your entire face down. Now, I want to talk about the single most transformative technique in all of hairstyling. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. It's called face framing. Face framing isn't just about cutting a few layers. It is artistry. It's about using hair to sculpt light and shadow on your face. Think of it this way. Layers around the face are like a built-in spotlight for your best features. They draw the eye up to your cheekbones, to your eyes, to your smile. A flat, Unlayered front is like a heavy curtain. It casts a shadow on your face, emphasizing jowls and dragging everything down. I had a client, Jen, a wonderful mom of two. She came in saying she felt invisible and frumpy. Her go-to look was a messy bun, not because she liked it, but because the heavy front pieces of her bob drove her crazy. The back of her bob was actually cut pretty well, but the front was just two solid panels of hair. I didn't even take off any length. I just went in and added a few long, soft, face-framing layers, starting right at her cheekbone. The change was instant. Her whole face opened up. She looked brighter, younger, and so incredibly chic. She literally said, "I can't believe I've been hiding my own face for all these years." That's the power of this technique. It reveals you. The great news is, face framing isn't one size fits all. You have options. It's like ordering from a menu. You can ask for *** soft, long layers * that start at the jawline for just a whisper of movement. If you have fine hair, you can ask for *** ghost layers, ***, secret layers cut on the inside to remove bulk without looking layered. You can even do a *** long, blended curtain bang * that opens up your face and gives you that effortless Parisian vibe. The most important thing to tell your stylist is, please make sure the layers in the front connect to the layers in the back. It should be one seamless, flowing haircut. So there you have it. The 5 major mistakes that can turn a chic bob into an aging haircut. No more heavy, one-length bobs. No more dated reverse bobs. No more severe angles. No more high napes. And absolutely no more heavy, unlayered fronts. You now have the architectural blueprint for the perfect bob. But even the most perfect haircut can be ruined by one simple styling mistake. So before we wrap up, I want to share one final bonus tip. A mistake I see women make every single day with their curling iron that instantly creates a dated, helmet head look. Let's talk about over-curling the ends. You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? It's that super tight, perfectly round, flipped under look that you create with a round brush or a curling iron. I call this bubble head, or the classic soccer mom bob from the 90s. Listen to me. It is dated. It is aging, and it has to stop. Here's why it's so bad. That hard, round curve at the bottom of your hair creates a strong horizontal line right at your jaw. It's the very thing we've been working so hard to avoid through this entire video. It makes your haircut look stiff and artificial, and it makes your face look wider. It screams, "I tried really, really hard," instead of that chic, effortless vibe we're all after. So what's the modern, sophisticated way to finish your bob? You want a soft bevel, not a hard curl. That just means using your blow dryer and a round brush to create a gentle, inward curve. It gives you polish without the bubble. Or, my personal favorite, the bend. Take a flat iron, and instead of curling the ends, create a slight S bend in the middle of the hair shaft, leaving the last inch of your hair relatively straight. This creates that effortless, modern texture you see everywhere. The goal is always movement and softness, not a perfectly sculpted, stiff helmet. Okay, let's bring it all home. Let's quickly review the playbook for your perfect, timeless, ageless bob. Mistake number 1, the heavy bob. The fix? Create ** movement. Mistake number 2, the dated reverse bob. The fix? Flip the angle to a modern * line. Mistake number 3, the dramatic angle. The fix? Aim for * soft, subtle angle. Mistake number 4, the high nape. The fix? Respect your anatomy with a blended * graduation. And mistake number 5, the unlayered front. The fix? Always add * face framing. But here's the real secret, the one thing I want you to take away from our time together today. A great haircut isn't about following a trend on the internet. It's about finding a stylist who doesn't just see your hair, but who sees you. It's about a cut that is customized to your unique face shape, your hair texture, your lifestyle, and most importantly, your personality. The right bob doesn't hide who you are. It enhances it. It doesn't fight your features. It celebrates them. Remember, beauty has no age limit, but a great haircut makes every single year feel more vibrant and more confident. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself. Find a great stylist who truly listens, and walk into that salon armed with this knowledge, ready to create a look that makes you feel powerful and beautiful every single day. Because you, my dear, are timeless. And your hair should be, too. Alright, so we have a structurally perfect haircut. But now, let's talk about the moment all that hard work can be ruined. The second you pick up your blow dryer and your round brush. I'm talking about a styling habit that's been ingrained in so many of us, and it's the final mistake I need you to absolutely avoid. It's over curling the ends. You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? It's that super tight, perfectly round, flipped under look at the bottom of your hair. I call it the bubble bob, or the classic 90s news anchor look. Let's be honest, isn't this how our mothers and grandmothers taught us to do our hair? It was the standard for being polished and put together. It had its moment, but that moment is over. I remember when I was a young stylist, I would spend hours getting that perfectly curled under look for my clients. I thought it was the peak of elegance. But now when I look back at old photos, all I see is stiffness. A helmet. It's dated, it's forced, and it has to stop. So why is it so bad? Because that hard, round arc creates a horizontal line right at your chin. It breaks all of the soft, flattering lines we worked so hard to create with the cut. It makes your face look wider, and the overall style looks heavy. It screams, I tried very, very hard, instead of that chic, effortless elegance vibe we're all after. So what is the modern, sophisticated way to style your bob? You want a soft bevel, not a hard bubble. Technique number 1 is the bevel blow dry. You still use a round brush, but instead of holding it there to create a tight curl, you glide it through the hair faster, just to create a gentle, natural, inward curve. It gives you polish without the bubble. And this is my personal favorite technique for that truly effortless chic look. It's creating the bend. Take a flat iron. Instead of clamping and curling the ends under, you create a very light, S-shaped wave in the middle of the hair shaft, and you leave the ends relatively straight and natural. Top stylists around the world all agree on this now. Modern beauty is in the intentional imperfection. Your hair should say, I woke up like this, not, I spent an hour forcing every strand into submission. The lesson here is this: softness and movement will always win over stiffness and forced perfection. So, we've gone through all of the technical and styling mistakes. You now have the complete architectural blueprint for a perfect bob. But before we truly finish, I want you to look at the bigger picture with me. Because the most important lesson isn't in the scissors or the blow dryer. It's within us. Let's recap everything we've learned and find the ultimate truth to ageless beauty. Alright, so let's bring it all home. Let's quickly review the playbook for your perfect, timeless, ageless bob. Number 1, the heavy, lifeless bob. The fix is simple. *** create movement. Number 2, the dated reverse bob. The fix? Flip the angle to a modern, sophisticated ** line. Number 3, the overly dramatic, severe angle. The fix is to always aim for soft, subtle elegance. Number 4, the high nape, mushroom, cut. The fix is to ** respect your natural anatomy. And number 5, the heavy, unlayered front. The non-negotiable fix is to always frame your face. But this is the most important thing I want you to remember after watching this video. A great haircut isn't about chasing the hottest trend on social media. It isn't a trend you need to follow. A truly great haircut is a piece of custom art, tailor-made, exclusively for you. It has to work with your face shape, your hair texture, your lifestyle, and most importantly, with your spirit and your personality. So find a stylist with heart, someone who isn't just a technician, but a true partner who listens and understands you. Remember this: beauty has no age limit, but a great haircut makes every single year feel more vibrant and more confident. Never hesitate to invest in yourself. Take control of your own beauty journey and become the artist of your own image, because you are a phenomenal, timeless woman, and your hair should be, too. And ladies, getting the perfect cut, that's only 50% of the journey. The other 50%, the part that determines if your hair is truly healthy, voluminous, and shiny from root to tip, lies in something we do every single day, and often do completely wrong: how we wash our hair. That's right, the wrong washing technique is the silent killer that's making your hair thinner and weaker over time. If you are truly serious about becoming more confident, youthful, and beautiful every single day, then the next video on stop making these 7 hair washing mistakes. The real reason for thinning hair, is the final piece of the puzzle you absolutely cannot afford to miss. Make sure you click subscribe and turn on that notification bell right now so you don't miss it. For now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.